Let's turn our attention on security, and for a population of nearly 600,000, the Northeast region has only 6 police vehicles, one of which was recently involved in an accident, killing 1 police officer. Today in our series on security in electoral hotspot communities dubbed Safety for My Vote, we are in the region where Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be voting on December 7, a region that has recorded several armed robberies recently, and residents there want the police services there to be resourced ahead of the elections. Correspondent Elias Utanko has our story for today.
The Northeast region has had notable existing threats, from chieftaincy and ethnic clashes to armed robbery, which all point to proliferations of arms. Concerns are raised. This will make it difficult for security agencies here to contain situations that may arise at the 60 identified electoral hotspots during and after the elections. For many, the phenomenon of politically connected people being left off the hook dampens the hope of violence-free election.
When they arrest somebody, and it happens like political matters, people take politics into armed robbery. And to arrest one party member with a gun, Alhajis and imams, they will go and talk on behalf of the man because they are having political decisions in it. So they will release the man. Even if they catch him with a gun, they will go and talk on behalf of the armed robber because that is just very silence. So at the end, they will leave the armed robber and come to go back to the house. It is not good.
There has not been notable recent political violence in the Northeast region, but in Wale alone, where Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia will be voting on December 7th, police has identified at least 30 electoral hotspots. Residents are worried about increasing activities of the gunmen as the elections approach.
We are just appealing because from Wale to Bugay is also not safe. So we are just appealing to the municipal chief executive, the security council, the commander in the Wale municipal to just beef up the security because we are in the election year and the Christmas too is around the corner. Because when it's never getting to Christmas, the out-of-bed situation normally increases.
In Wale here for this time, we are now in the jungle, or we don't even understand this town for this time. Each time they are robbing, evening, morning, night, afternoon. At any time they can attack. And we have police station here. We have security personnel here. And how come and these things are all happening when we are having personnel, security services here?
Just recently that we are about to vote, then they came in that they are constructing the road. Halfway, they have stopped constructing. Even the armed robbers point, that is the particular place that we are encountering. They did not do anything there. They just find small gravel and see sand that they are going to construct a bridge. And up to date, nothing has happened there.
Let's go on the line and speak to Abubakari Abdallah. He is the NDC's parliamentary candidate for the Wale constituency. Many thanks for your time, Mr. Abubakari. Now, first of all, you are hoping to represent the people of this constituency. What would you say, and you live in the constituency, what would you say accounts for the increase or the rise in the crime rate? Hello, Mr. Abubakari.
Hello, I can hardly hear you, madam.
Okay, let's try this one more time. I'm saying that your constituents are concerned about the security situation in Wale. You are hoping to represent them come December 7. First of all, tell us, because you live in the area, what accounts for the crime rate, the increasing crime rate in the area?
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak on a matter that is of a very serious concern to my people. We all know that development is needed by everyone, and the conditions under which development can be given is when people have security. So the security situation is actually a border to everybody. And I am not only a person who lives in the community, but also somebody who, because of the opportunity that I got to be the regional minister, I presided over the Regional Security Council, and that I can at least speak to some of the issues based on that experience. The increasing state of crime in this area, unfortunately, even daylight robbery in the afternoon in the center of the community, you have young men coming in to harass people at gunpoint to seize their property, and sometimes not only to seize the property, but some kind of wanton shooting about, trying to kill people to take away some few things. I think one of the factors that's actually responsible for the situation is the fact that the unemployment situation in Ghana is a factor, and I believe that most of the young men who had some other job that were giving them some source of livelihood have lost those source of livelihood, and they are finding robbery as a means to eke out a living. Unfortunately, also, most of the robbery in this particular area happen in areas that are on the way to market centers, and these roads are also very terrible and bad, to the extent that people, motorists and vehicles that apply these roads will cannot speed away when they see danger. And for that matter, they usually will hide in certain areas where it is difficult, where mobility is a bit difficult, and then ambush on the people and seize their property. So the bad nature of the roads in the area, for me, or convincingly, is part of the reason for which the situation is getting out of hand. Mm-hmm. And then, unfortunately, maybe perhaps the inactive or lack of proactiveness on the part of the security agencies, because the situation in Walwale is quite helpless, that they hardly will apprehend a single armed robber when this thing happens. And that is quite unfortunate. Mm.
We did try to reach out to the police, and we'll keep reaching out to the police to get a sense of what is being done to stem the rise in the crime rate. But we're told that the region has as many as 60 hotspots. Going into this election, is that a worry for you?
It is of a very profound concern to every person who lives in this area, particularly that we are just at the eve of an election, because election-related violence can also be disguised in a way that may seem like armed robbery. Very often when I get out of my campaign, by sunset, my elder brothers and family members keep calling to get me back home for fear of this thing. And sometimes they think that political opponents may disguise themselves as armed robbers and ambush you in a tight corner somewhere and deal with you. So as a politician who crisscross and traverse the constituency both day and night, I am really deeply worried about my security and the security of those who move with me.
I was even coming to that how concerned are you about your own personal security, given that in the recent past we've heard of reports of MPs and other politicians who are campaigning being gunned down or attacked?
The point I just made is that beyond even myself, my family members are worried, but I'm also taking some precautions to be very sure that I don't find myself in such a situation. But unfortunately, being an era and time for politics, one cannot actually control some of the movements you make, because some of the movements are a matter of necessity. That you should reach out to some constituent somewhere. So without the police service and the security agencies doing the needful to get us protected, we are actually very apprehensive, despite the fact that we are very wary of what could be done to us.
Mm. I'm interested and curious to know where these hotspots are within the region. We have a population of about 600,000 people in the region. Where are these hotspots located?
I can speak to those, particularly in the Walwale constituency, because for the last 3 months I have been here and home, right, and I've experienced a number of the Walwale township is quite a problem. Because of the armed robbery, most of these businessmen have decided to rather not operate late in the evening. They operate in the afternoon. And these gentlemen or women who go about doing this thing have also resorted to daylight attack. Just about some few days ago, in the evening of about 5 o'clock, we had one of them attack. So within the Walwale township is a problem, and most often the shops and then the mobile money vendors are the targets of these operatives. Unfortunately, also, it is very high on the highways to the major market centers in the constituency. On the Walwale-Bulbia Road, we talk of Walwale to Du Road. We also talk of Walwale to Langency, as well as Walwale to Cargo. These are major market centers in the constituency. And because they know people go to those areas with a lot of money, they always will lay ambush on the way and seize their property at gunpoint. So the hotspots are actually along the market center, the routes to the market centers, as well as the Walewale Township people.
And finally, I mean, what are you going to be doing about, this increasing crime rate in your constituency specifically? Have you reached out to the police? Are there any plans to ensure that, there are steps being taken to address the crime rate?
It is unfortunate I'm going to make this statement I'm going to make, but it's very relevant for this discussion. Walewale constituency has become an area where even when there is poor service, it is very difficult for the people to complain, because some leadership in the community think that a complaint about bad service is a complaint about the non-performance of His Excellency the Vice President. I remember some time back last year, there was a youth group that mobilized themselves to embark on some demonstration to drum home the concern of insecurity to the police in the constituency. Some community leader has to prevail on them to stop this demonstration because they felt it was going to be an indictment on His Excellency the Vice President. And for me, that is unfortunate. So it seems the people in authority do not care about the situation, and the people cannot also get out there to arm themselves to defend themselves. So we are left at the mercy of God and the mercy of the armed robbers.
We'll have to leave it here. Thank you so much for your time. That's Abubakar Abdallah. He is the NDC's parliamentary candidate for the Walewale constituency.